take the #1 rebounding team in the SEC against your weakness, especially on defensive glasses, kind of documented. Was it desire? Was it position? Was it scouting? The kids were talking about how hard they work in practice. Was a combination of everything?
Probably so. We take the easy way out. Probably just a combination of recommitting to that being our biggest focus, as we've talked about here over the last, now it's 4 in a row since these guys met with each other for a couple hours. And again, we focused on defense and rebound. And it's funny that we played our best offensive basketball as well. And because that's where our focus has been. It wasn't a big scouting thing. I mean, those guys are really, really hard to block out. And you're either blocking out or you're not. You're blocking out physically and legally, hitting somebody. You're in the fight or you're not. And then with our guards, you're either rebounding down and you're sticking your nose in there trying to get those long ones and helping out when Johnny Bunu and Kamarius Hayes and Justin Leon, those guys are in these wrestling matches. And they've embraced that, credit our guy. I mean, Chris Joseph, for him to get 9 rebounds, coming off double-figure rebounds. For these guys to become more and more physical and not necessarily worried about getting the rebound themselves, but making sure that the guy they're guarding doesn't get the offensive rebound. That was huge. To me, it was the key to the game. The fact that they got 6 offensive rebounds, and it's 2 games in a row now, our best 2 rebounding performances here, probably in the last couple of years against Missouri and then against Kentucky tonight.
How important was it to set the defensive tone there in the first half? Because you had 12 turnovers and you only got 12 points.
I know it. We had 17 turnovers. It's crazy looking at the box score. We were very, very good defensively against one of the best offensive teams in the country. In my opinion, the best transition offensive team in the country. We preached about being careful on the offensive glass, about picking our spots. Against most teams, it's get to the glass, and against these guys, it's, hey, I'd like to get to the glass and get some offensive rebounds, but we've got to have floor balance because these guys downhill, Briscoe and De'Aaron Fox, they're a blur, and they demand so much attention. If we got a couple guys behind them, it's going to be a layup drill. So our guys, I thought, made some really good decisions and still found a way to get 17 offensive rebounds.
Mike, you talked about a breakthrough win. This is huge, obviously. Biggest one of your career. How does it feel? Can you let yourself enjoy it?
Not much. I mean, at Georgia's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard. It's the SEC, just like the ACC, the Big 12, and I don't mean to slight anybody, but there's some leagues now, like this league, where we can't celebrate this but an hour. I'm going to go home and hug my kids and have a big pizza with my wife and feel good about it. And then we're on to Georgia. That's it. We got to play well. And as we just talked to our team about, we've got to have good preparation tomorrow. Another quick turn. Your first question, I don't know, Mark. We won some regular season championships, so it was really cool just to clinch. As I just told the guys, hey, beating Kentucky's great. They're one of the best teams in the country. But we're 8-2. I mean, we're halfway through league play. I mean, we've got a ways to go. We've got to go back to Kentucky. We've got to go. First off, obviously, we've got to go to Georgia and play better against Georgia than we did here, just to have a chance. I mean, those guys have been really, really good, and they've got to be one of the hungriest teams because they've been right there every night.
Mike, 2 weeks ago you were in here and you're telling us you didn't have any answers for what was going on defensively and otherwise. Yeah. 2 weeks later, you got 4 20-plus point wins. What happened?
I'm telling you, it was. I just go back to it. It was that meeting. It was our guys. It was our guys. I mean, all coaches want ownership, and we preach ownership a bunch, obviously. And you're only going to be as good as your ownership and your leadership. And we tell our guys all the time, it's one thing coming from me, but coming from your teammate, sometimes it's stronger. The accountability, our guys holding each other accountable is stronger than me holding them accountable. They had a really productive meeting, and again, knock on wood, I'm not sure I hope so. I hope we have the same exact defensive performance at Georgia, but we've been a different team defensively in these last 4 games. We just have. Now it helps when shots are going in at the rate that they're going in as well, but they made a commitment to each other that to get back to getting back to defending like they did, like we showed them capable of earlier in the season when we had 3 or 4 games there against very good teams. You know, your Miamis and Seton Halls and some of those games. Even you know, a team like Belmont. You know, we sat down and guarded in those ones, and I felt like, and our guys agreed that for whatever reason, early conference play, maybe it was just being overly comfortable being in this beautiful arena for the first time, playing in front of our people for the first time. We just kind of lost that edge a little bit, and I'm sure it's probably more common than I would have thought on the front end. But they just recommitted, and now it's a matter of maintaining that and not reverting.
Was that Casey Hill's most complete and most clutch performance you've seen out of him?
Probably so. I thought he was fantastic. I'm so happy for him with his ability, or not with his ability, but the fact that he stepped up and made some big offensive plays to complement how hard he's playing defensively. Did a really good job on Monk. Chris Chilza did a very good job on Monk as well. But Casey, he had some big jump shots for us. I didn't check his free throw line. No comment. But he was incredible in transition offense. Just utilizing his speed, 6 assists, and then, you know, for him to get 5 rebounds, we got 14 from a couple of point guards.
Mike, 5 block shots today, and
Yeah.
7 block shots. I think he had about 4 or 5 in the first 5 minutes. How much did that kind of spark you guys?
He was just activity. I see Kavari's had 3, Devin a couple. I'm studying it for the first time here. I know John altered a couple more other than his 1. We were flying around. I mean, we have good length. And when you've got really good activity with that length, of course, and you find a way to alter or block without fouling, which unfortunately we didn't do a great job of at times, you know, it can be disruptive. As we've got to take advantage of that. It's kind of the makeup of our roster.
What about Devin Robinson, Steve? Just he had
Devin was
those big
fantastic.
threes,
Huge.
at one point, and when they were sneaking that.
Yeah, I mean, he had some timely threes. He hit one in the corner right opposite of us, across the court from us, off of a shot fake. It was a huge shot. He gets 16 and 9, but before I watched the film, you know, my premature evaluation was that it could have been his best defensive game as well. I thought he was keeping guys in front of him. I thought positionally he was really good. He was active. I could hear him communicating a bunch. I don't remember any glaring mistakes that Devin made defensively. You know, another guy that, you know, could have been arguably his best game. He was really good for us.
Was there any feeling that you guys had something to prove, that you could win one of these games and beat one of these ranked teams?
No, we really didn't get into big picture stuff. It's just, you know, it's an SEC game. I know it's Kentucky, but it's an SEC game, and I thought we were just as locked in from Missouri. I really did. Now, was the crowd a little bit louder? Yeah. You know, pregame stuff, whatever the heck that thing's called, it's pretty neat. It was really neat to be a part of. No, we didn't get into. It was the next one. It was Kentucky. We've got several more.
Like to be at halftime with 12 turnovers and you shot like 30%, and you're still up by 8. That's
Nuts.
You still have to feel pretty darn good about yourself.
Yeah, we had, be honest with you, what did we have at halftime? We had 34. My thoughts were we were very, very fortunate to have 34, and we had several guys with fouls. And then early second half, we ended up getting into big foul trouble. I thought Eric Hester made a really hard one. We had another one we were really fortunate at finishing. I can't remember, but it was, I made the comment to the staff, we had 5 or 6 points we were very fortunate to have, and I thought that they missed a couple that they could have easily made. So, you know, I thought that to feel good about an 8-point lead would have been a mistake, because I didn't feel like we were playing 8 points better than them. But I thought we had some stretches in the second half where we were very good.
All right, thanks, guys.